So hello, I would like to welcome you in my new video. This video is going to be about how to make decisions. And also, if you're new here, this is my channel about personal development and self-help. And so if you're interested in this kind of topics, I'm going to be shooting a lot more material here on my channel. So you can subscribe to my channel. I post regularly once a week. And so I'm gonna start talking about how to make decisions. This actually has been a huge problem for me, basically my whole life. I think it was mainly because I did not understand all this theory and practice also, which I'm gonna be talking about here. And so I would really like to give you this possible explanation of what is going on when you are really unable to make a decision for yourself. Or if you have a major decision in front of you, I think it would be really good for you to watch this video and maybe get some inspiration from that. And so I actually read about field theory, but not like from physics, although this psychologist who was writing about field theory, he actually got inspired for this field theory from physics, and he kind of tried to apply it to social sciences. And the psychologist was Kurt Lewin. Maybe you already heard about it. And I found it so incredibly interesting that I wanted to make a video about it. And I think he didn't specifically talk about decision-making process, but he was talking about, it was one of the motivation theories, and so I decided to make a video about this and apply it to like decision making. But if you want to learn more about field theory in social sciences, you should really check out Kurt Lewin and his field theory. And so basically, I would like to say that if first, I'm gonna say it in a way so that you can imagine it for yourself. So basically, imagine yourself as if you are this unit, this person who's in his like a social circle or social environment, and in your social environment, whether you like it or want it or not, there are all these forces, and these forces, there are basically other people trying to push you in some kind of directions, whether you want it or not. They can do it very obviously, like telling you exactly what to do, although this is not happening as much. I think much more common is the more subtle forms of manipulation, the ones that the one who's being manipulated doesn't even know that this is the case. And a lot of the times this happens when people want other people to do something. And I'm not going to talk about manipulation specifically in my video here, because I think this is a really complicated topic and I would like to make videos about it in the future on my channel. But today I just wanted to mention this so that it's on your radar, and I'm going to mention it in connection to decision making, but I'm not going to specifically dive into it. And so imagine you are this unit in your social environment, and then you are about to make some kind of important decision. Maybe it's whether which college you should go to, or if you should even go to college, or what kind of career path you should take, if you should apply for this job or not, whether you should take this job, or whether you should move to some other part of the world or part of the country for this job, or whether you should marry somebody, or whether you should stay in a relationship in which you are. And this can be all decisions that you can even think of. And every time you're trying to make a decision, there are gonna be people in your environment who may be gonna try to help you by themselves, or maybe you're gonna go to them and ask them for their opinion. And these people, they and their forces with which they are influencing you, this is like in physics, it would be like vectors, because with vector you have certain direction of the vector and certain intensity. And if your parents basically are like one force which is pulling you in one direction, and then you have your friends who are telling you something else, and maybe they are even go against each other, and then you have your partner who's telling you to go completely different direction. If you actually made a drawing of this, and I think it would be really interesting if you try to do this, if you made a drawing of this, you would see that there are all these forces, and that is really not surprising that you are so confused about your decision, because when you are under influence of so many, a lot of the times it can be opposing forces. It can be really hard for you to make your decision, because maybe you don't even feel like you are trying to make somebody happy, but inevitably, if these are people that are close to you, you're going to value their opinion and they're going to have influence over you. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a way that you come to your friend or your parent and you ask them, what do you think I should do, even though it can be even like this. But it can be so subtly. They might tell you even like, oh, I can tell you what to do. And then you go to them again and you tell them, okay, I just want to know your opinion. And then they're going to start to telling you stories like, oh, I think you should go to be a teacher because when you were younger you always liked to take care of kids and watch after them when you had summer vacation and stuff like that. And they're going to tell you like, you like this and you should go here, and this is something you enjoyed, and I think you should do XYZ. And every time somebody is telling you things like this, they're basically speaking for you, and it can be perceived as this very subtle form of manipulation. And maybe you are not aware of this. For this, I would advise to you, if you had some kind of conversation with somebody like that, and they were telling you their opinions, I would advise to you, after this conversation is over, go be somewhere by yourself, pull out a piece of paper and try to write this conversation on a piece of paper the best way how you can remember it. Maybe if you're not going to remember every single thing like word from word, but maybe you're going to remember like a majority of it, or you're going to remember some key points which this person said, and you can write it for yourself just to have an idea. And maybe after you write it, you will see that this person was actually using these terms, like they were speaking for you, and they were kind of, in a very subtle way, they were kind of making your opinion about something and pulling you towards some direction. They don't even have to mean it in a bad way, but if you are in this field where are all these forces, it's just going to have its influence on you, especially if this person is very important to you and you value their opinion. And so inevitably you're going to encounter this opinion into your decision making, and the more forces there are in your environment, the more confused you are going to be about making your decision. And I would like to say one thing to this. Don't look at it as if you should blame other people for manipulating you or pulling you into certain direction, because a lot of the times it's not like they would even be the first ones who would come to you. A lot of the times it's like you are the one who's seeking their help, because you don't want to make the decision for yourself. Maybe sometimes you are so scared to be alone in this decision making that you just go to your friends or parents and you ask them for support. You know, in social sciences, this is a really important term. It's like social support. Like every time a person has like something difficult to go through, a lot of the times people would say, oh, I just went through this difficult thing with my parents, or my dad got sick or something like that, and my partner just wasn't supportive. He just wasn't the support which I needed. Or this is something that people usually say a lot, that they need support. They need support in like difficult times, and the family should support them, and their partner should support them, and everybody should support them and be there for them. But a lot of the times, like this can have two sides, because when you constantly seeking this support, it's like you are dependent on it, and it makes you feel better, and it's like this safety cushion in which you can fall into, and you see your family as if these people that should be here for you no matter what, and they should support you, and you kind of interconnect with them, and then it seems like every time you are about to make a decision by yourself, you can't even do it because you so rely on them that you become so dependent that you are not even able to make a decision by yourself. And this is this is your problem. It's not their problem. Because if you were really grounded in yourself, if you knew yourself as a person and you were really aware and conscious of your acts, you would be conscious about their little ways, how they're trying to force you in some ways, but you would be immune to that because you will know who you are and what you want to do, and you would just be doing your own thing. But there are very little people like that, because it's just really difficult, because people are really connected to their partners and families and other people, and they are really afraid. I find that what most people are really afraid of is that they are so afraid that they will be alone. It's not even in this major sense as if they're saying, oh, I need to make a family for myself because I don't want to be alone when I'm gonna be old, or I don't want to be alone now because I would go crazy. But why can't you be alone? Why can't you be by yourself? Because if you were used to that, you would be also used to listening to your inner voice and be able to make decisions by yourself and not being so dependent on other people. These manipulations, one last point I'm gonna say to them, if you still don't know what I mean when somebody is talking for you, I have excellent example for that. I really like to mention it. Is that whenever you observe some couples, because in couples this is really obvious, and there are so many couples which are doing this thing, and it's basically that they are talking on behalf of the other one. So when you have a couple of two people, imagine that you're talking to them and one of them is saying things like, oh, we traveled to this resort in like Bali or somewhere and we really enjoyed it, there was excellent food, and like for example Mark, like my partner Mark, he really loved this food. And then what's gonna happen is like Mark sitting there, he's gonna be like nodding his head as if he's like, whatever, tell whatever you want. But sometimes there's gonna happen this very interesting thing, is that Mark actually didn't like the food and he's gonna be like, wait a minute, what you are saying, I didn't like the food, why are you saying that I like the food? And so what's going on here is that this person, this woman, she was talking about her partner, that he liked something, but in fact he didn't really like it, and she didn't even bother to get his consensus for that. She was saying things on his behalf, not even asking him first if this is how he truly feels. And this is something you can observe in communications with other people a lot of the times. People love to talk on behalf of other people. It gives them this kind of sense of connection to them or power or something like that, and it happens a lot more than you think. And this is how you can find out if somebody speaks on your behalf. This is really tricky because a lot of the times it will be really subtle things and you're going to feel like, oh, this probably is true. If this person says that I like vanilla ice cream, I do like vanilla ice cream. So what's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is that this is one way how you can observe that you are being manipulated and pushed somewhere, and you can maybe even feel this force like pushing you somewhere. Maybe you didn't like the food as much, but now this person saying that you like the food, and so you think like, oh, it's no big deal. But you're gonna live through this again and again and again, and before you know it, you don't even know who you are because you are under this influence of this other force, and you are being pushed to different sides, and suddenly you can't even make a decision by yourself because you are not used to listening to your own inner voice. So that was the theory. And now I would like to give you practical advice about what you can do with this if you really have to make a decision, you are really not sure, there are all these forces pushing you in one way or another, and you really have no idea what you should do. Well, first, I have a video on this. It's my video about mental detox. I will link it for you down below. It's an excellent way how you can clear your head from all these outside influences and really make a decision by yourself. Because it's I talk about it in that video. You can watch it. I talk about it in great detail and describe the whole process, what you can do, what you can't do, what is the goal of that, and how you can clear your head with that, how you're gonna feel during and after. It's really detailed video, so I will link it down below. If you don't want to do full-on mental detox, you can also try to be by yourself for a little while. Go by yourself for a walk, sit in the nature, or meditate for like a couple minutes. Try to really feel this inner, it's like really subtle inner force which is trying to guide you through your life. And if you just sit down for a little while and listen to it, you would know what I'm talking about, because it's just, you have it in you whether you like it or not. It's a good thing that you have it, but you maybe are not used to listen to it at all. And so you have to learn how to listen to your inner voice again. And it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. Maybe if you are a man and you are watching this video, maybe you're gonna be like, oh, this is like some girly stuff and I don't really want to do that. But it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. Everybody has this guidance system. And sometimes, even if you when you are a man and you are trying to decide which college you should go to, you also have this maybe guidance system in you that's telling you, I really want to go there, I really want to go to school, but my parents are telling me like this is not practical or this is not good choice and I should go somewhere else. But really, you can wake up this guidance system of yours either by doing some meditation or detox of some sort, or you can start to observe this inner force in you in everyday situations. Amazing way how you can observe this, actually. And I don't recommend you to do this exercise because it can have some really bad consequences. But imagine that you are in a store with like electronic devices and you are looking at some like TV or something, or mobile phones or whatever, and now the seller person comes to you and he starts to like talk about some phone which you didn't even want to buy, and they started talking about it like it's amazing, it has all these great features. Basically he's trying to talk in your head, and suddenly you feel like this force is coming from this person. If you are sensitive, you're gonna know what I mean. This person is forcing you basically, but you have this subtle force inside of you that's telling you, don't buy this phone, don't buy this phone. Like you know that you don't want to buy this phone, but the more this person is pressuring you, the more you feel like you would want to make him happy or something like that. And you feel like it's going to make you feel really bad because you're going to go out of the store, you're going to feel like, oh, this person was talking in my head for so long and I didn't even buy the damn thing. But this is how you can perceive the manipulation in like the most obvious way there is. Somebody's trying to push you to buy something, but everything inside you, your inner voice is telling you, don't buy this thing. This is how you can observe that. It's like you have this guidance in you. It's like when you come to the store and you just choose, like you go to buy chips and you chose these chips and not the other chips. Why you do that? Because it's not rational decisions a lot of the times. These are just because you want, because some force is telling you go for these chips and not these ones. It's like you can really train yourself. Would be really good if you trained yourself to develop your sensitivity to your inner voice and your inner guidance. And why I think it's really crucial to develop this skill is when you are about to make a decision. It's like, imagine as if you are standing on this path and you have these two or more paths, but I'm gonna say it like you have two paths. And you should go either on one or another or multiple others, it doesn't matter. And you just don't like the uncertainty of this decision. You maybe turn to your cushion behind you or the people that you seek support from. They're all telling you what you should do. You don't want to be alone in this decision. You don't want to make the decision by yourself, and so you want to quickly decide for some of these paths. And this is exactly what happens when maybe if you went to college, maybe you saw this phenomenon. I saw it a lot happening, is that a lot of the times I heard that a lot of the people, they came to college because their parents told them they should pick this college. And it's really surprising how many people like that are there. You know, they pick something and then they change their major after a year, and then they pick something else and they drop completely out of the college and they don't even finish anything. And a lot of the times it's happening because they don't even know why they came here in the first place. There were all these forces. Maybe they didn't even want to go to college at all. But their parents and the social environment, they were like, oh, you have to go to college. Like, what else you're going to do? And it's really sad because people, a lot of the times, they don't even know why they are doing the things that they are doing. While if you bothered to stop for a little while on this crossroads and really like every day, like meditate it for a little while and really try to make your decision by yourself without the other forces influencing you too much, you would make a much higher quality decision, and you wouldn't like turn back like half on the road to go and do something else. And you would spare yourself a lot more time by taking more time to decide than if you just rushed into some decision and then you had to change your mind. And I think this is much bigger problem than we a lot of the times think, because what is fundamentally the issue is not that other people are manipulating you, because this is such a common thing that it's not even, it is a problem, but it's not even your problem. Your problem is that you don't want to make a decision by yourself, and you are turning to other people. You are afraid maybe that you're gonna make this decision despite your parents' opinion and they're not gonna talk to you or something like that. But you know, when push comes to shove, it's like you are gonna live your life. They're not gonna live your life. If they really love you for who you are, they're just gonna let you do what you want. It's just really interesting because sometimes I don't even understand how this parent kids stuff works. A lot of the times I saw that parents would push somebody to go to medicine because medicine is just, it's such a prestigious occupation. It's like everybody wants to say like, we have a doctor in the house or something like that. And so be really careful about this. Be really careful who is making your decisions, because a lot of the times you might think that you are making your decisions, but it doesn't have to be the case at all. And I think that's everything for my today's video. Also, I would like to say, if you're not sure if you want to watch my other videos or not, my videos are basically about the fact that I would like to make you more free and more free of all these influences, and a person that can really be by himself and decide for himself about his life. And all my channel is about this, basically freeing yourself from all these burdens which you can have, all these fears and depressions. And I made some videos like on my channel already, and gonna keep continue doing that. But if you really wanna improve yourself as a person and make yourself feel better in the long term, I think it's really important to kind of work on yourself continuously and watch, like, make a commitment and really watch like a self-help video like once a week, or read a book once a month, and do something regularly and improve yourself regularly, because it's really simple to fall off a track. And I think it's because people don't make it fun for themselves. Like for me, it's really fun to like draw the field and see all the forces, or write my conversations, or observe people how they interact with each other. It's just so fascinating topic that I don't understand why people are not doing it more, and they're not trying to understand more what is really going on in their everyday lives. You know, because this is not some topic like so abstract, like something that you learn in school and then you forget you ever learned it. This is something that you live every single day. And so, yeah, that's everything for me. If you like this video, you can give it a like, you can subscribe to my channel. If you have any follow-up questions, if I didn't specify myself clearly enough about this topic, then ask me in the comments. I will make a follow-up video, or I will explain it to you more in detail. And that's everything for me for today's video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next week with my next video. Bye!